Good evening. It's nice to see you again on VITV in Into Vietnam in the news. Singaporean investment in Vietnam rises 157% in 2013. Vietnam and the European Union progress in the FTA negotiations. And the country posts lower than expected trade surplus of $9.4 million in 2013. The VITV expects the supply of government bonds will continue to surge over 200 trillion dong. However, demand for government bonds will also continue to rise in 2014 and can absorb the entire supply. The causes are the amount of maturing bonds in 2014 will increase sharply. Credit growth is expected to remain modest. Inflation is expected to be well controlled. And the State Bank of Vietnam will continue to stabilize interest rate at low levels. The VITV predicts that the government bond yields for 2-year terms in 2014 may range around 6.5 to 8% per annum. The interest rate will be lower for the first 6 months at around 6.5 to 7.5% per annum, then increased in the last 6 months. Meanwhile, the demand for investment in corporate bonds in 2014 may be slightly lower than in 2013, as the interest difference between corporate bonds and government bonds was significantly narrowed in 2013. Singapore invested $4.37 billion worth of newly registered and additional capital in Vietnam last year, up 153% against 2012. Vietnamese authority licensed 105 Singaporean invested projects with total registered capital of more than $3 billion and approved 34 other existing projects to increase total capital to nearly $1.4 billion. By the end of 2013, there were 1,219 operational Singaporean invested projects capitalized at more than $29 billion, making the island nation second among foreign investors in Vietnam. Vietnamese businesses also poured nearly $35.7 million into Singapore, raising their total investment there to nearly $185 million. The domestic aviation market witnessed a strong rebound last year thanks to 21% growth in passenger numbers and fierce competition between state giant Vietnam Airlines and budget carrier Vietjet Air. Vietnam Airlines reported 62% increase in profits, totaling 140 billion dong or $6.6 million. These were despite revenue standing at 54.1 trillion dong or $2.5 billion, accounting for 98% of the company's set target. In its core field of transport services, the airline saw marked improvements, handling 14.71 million passengers, including 8.77 million local travelers, up 17%. Data by the Civil Aviation Administration of Vietnam showed that Vietnamese air carriers transported an estimated 29.5 million passengers and 630,000 tons of freight last year, representing a 16.7% and 19.6% on-year increase, respectively. Vietnam and the European Union conducted the 6th round of free trade agreement negotiations in Russia from January 13 to the 17th, and they plan to end bilateral talks this September. Mr. Trương Đình Tuyền, advisor to the Vietnamese delegation to the negotiations, says both sides defined the roadmap for concluding the talks, and the leaders would release a joint statement throughout the event. Both sides are likely to sign the trade pact during Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng scheduled visit to the European Union this October. Vietnam and EU working groups worked out a solution for satisfying their requirements. The EU demands Vietnam further open its market, especially for services and government procurement. Vietnam is keen to facilitate trade. If the trade pact is signed, Vietnam will first create a sound and transparent investment environment for EU businesses. It will also have Vietnam boost key export commodities such as garments, footwear, and seafood, and generate jobs for local people. The General Department of Vietnam Customs says Vietnam were estimated to have run a trade surplus of $9.4 million in 2013. The figure is much lower than earlier estimation of the General Statistics Office with $863 million. This is the second consecutive year Vietnam posted a trade surplus result. In 2013, the country shipped $132.14 billion worth of goods, representing a year-on-year rise of 15.4%, while it imported $132.13 billion worth of goods, making a year-on-year increase of 16.1%. The country exports stable in the year as cell phones and accessories, garment, textile, computers, electronics products and spare parts, footwear, crude oil and aquatic products. The country's key import items are machinery, equipment, tools and spare parts, computers, electronics products and spare parts, clothes, cell phones and accessories, and petroleums. Of note, the foreign direct investment sector continues playing an important role in Vietnam's import-export turnover. FDI enterprises earned $80.91 billion from export, up 26.3% on year, accounting for 61.2% of the country's total export values. Meanwhile, FDI businesses spent $74.43 billion to buy goods and services last year, up 24.2% on year, accounting for 56.3% of the country's total import values. And now some foreign trade news. We continue the program.
Vietnam exported $2.4 billion worth of goods to India last year, surging from $1.8 billion a year ago. This announcement was made by the Department of Africa, West Asia and South Asia Markets under the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Among items experiencing high export turnover were mobile phones and their components, rubber, seafood and agricultural products. There remained untapped potentials for Vietnamese enterprises to increase exports to the Indian market and capitalize on its strong consumption trends and diversify demands for goods. India had fostered a large import demand for Vietnam's tea, coffee, cashew nuts, and pepper for re-export purposes. The country also needed a significant amount of natural rubber for its large-scale production of car tires for both domestic consumption and export. According to the department, India has become a major importer of Vietnamese goods. During 2008-2012, Vietnam exports to the market increased significantly by 46% annually, mainly due to the positive influence of the ASEAN-India Free Trade Agreement. The Ministry of Industry and Trade will increase trade promotion overseas this year with a focus on Vietnam's key export items. MOIT deems increased trade promotion necessary to meet the 10% export growth target set for 2014 by the National Assembly. In 2013, the National Trade Promotion Program benefited key export businesses, helping the country maintain high export value, expand potential markets, and reduce trade deficit. Major contributors include garment makers earning $20 billion from exports, footwear makers $8.37 billion, seafood processors $6.73 billion, timber producers $5.5 billion, rice businesses $3 billion, coffee processors $2.7 billion, and rubber producers $2.5 billion.
According to official statistics, Vietnam has around 700 supermarkets and 150 commercial centers. These are modest numbers compared to Vietnam's retail market with 90 million consumers. At present, the expansion of the network of local retailers and the entry of foreign retail enterprises are fairly bustling in Vietnam, proving it's a potential market for investors.
This is a new commercial center which was opened in Ho Chi Minh City early January 2014 by Japan's largest retail group. The center is the milestone marking the brand's entry into the retail market in Vietnam. Besides, foreign brands such as Walmart, Lotte Mart, and Big C also intend to join and continuously open new stores and branches and marketing methods to raise their scale of operations at the end of the year. Commenting on Vietnam's retail market, many companies said that it is quite favorable for development since their market shares are still not commensurate with the potential.
が多いということと、消費旺盛であるということです。で、特にまだまだ、そういうマーケットに対して小売企業数が少ないと思いますので、私たちのような近代小売業がですね、今後ますます出店をして競争が激しくなって、またさらに、お客様にも、買い物、ショッピングのですね、そういう楽しさとかも含めて増えてくると思います。
In the competition with foreign brands that have entered Vietnam's market, this Vietnamese company has been voted in the top retailers in the Asian Pacific region. A representative said, though his company had opened many new branches and expanded business network in the time being, its revenue has increased steadily owing to Vietnam's powerful retail market.
Tuy nhiên, với sự xuất hiện của nhiều trung tâm thương mại vào dạng hàng đầu thế giới, và hiện nay chúng ta đang đứng ở đây là trung tâm Mall cũng là một trung tâm đứng thứ tư hàng thế giới, thì đã kích thích cái sự mua sắm của người dân. Và theo xu hướng chung hiện nay thì sự mua sắm bán lẻ của người dân là thường tập trung vào các cái trung tâm thương mại với cái chất lượng phục vụ tốt và phong cách phục vụ hiện đại.
According to the statistics from the Ministry of Industry and Trade, although the economy is experiencing a difficult period and there is no positive sign, retail sales in Vietnam is estimated at 2,680 billion dong in 2013, or 130 million US dollars, up 12.6% compared to the same period in 2012. Especially in the end of the year, the shopping centers and distributors in the area of Ho Chi Minh City are making many promotions to stimulate shopping demand, helping these numbers to grow significantly.
Cái mãi lực bán hàng của các cái doanh nghiệp tăng rất là tốt. Một số các cái hệ thống phân phối lớn như là siêu thị Co-op hoặc như là Bixi hay là cái trung tâm điện máy Tuy Hòa v.v. thì qua cái tổng kết tháng thì thấy tăng doanh số rất là cao, có nơi tăng đến 4-50%.
Although market shares of the retail markets in Vietnam large cities have positive growth rates, in rural and outlying areas, traditional markets are still popular to the majority of consumers. Therefore, there is room for domestic and foreign retail brands. It shows that in addition to the potential available, the retail market in Vietnam still poses a lot of opportunities for businesses if appropriate sales and marketing policies as well as business model are offered.
The program will wrap up with local gold prices, forex, and stock markets. That's the news on VITV. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We see you soon and goodbye for now.